Hey guys, it's been a minute. Yeah, I totally dropped the ball on this one. I was looking forward to making more videos this year, but life doesn't really pan out the way you always expect it to. School was taking up way more time than I had planned. I was working more than ever. That Samsung girl came out and that really fucking derailed me for a bit. But that's all in the past. I say we just go full steam ahead, start living in the now. And speaking of the now, there's a lot more of you than there was before. So since most of you seem to have come out of the forest, hey, my name's Pussy. Welcome to the channel. You're looking great today. I like the top. I'm glad you got rid of that haircut. That was a whole fucking mess. And here's how things work here. I spin the wheel of loosely related video topics to see what we're going to talk about. And look at that. Today we're going to talk about one of my other favorite TV shows. Now I could go on and on about why I love It's Always Sunny, but the truth is I'm not going to say anything new. Everybody seems to be on the same page about what makes it so great, so instead of just regurgitating the same couple points over and over again until I hit that algorithm-friendly 10-minute mark, I'm going to go the other direction and shine some light on some lesser talked about corners of the show. Namely, a couple episodes that I feel don't get the credit they deserve. A lot like Rick and Mortar, I feel like there isn't necessarily a weak episode anywhere, but there certainly are a couple that fans just will never bring up with the same kind of enthusiasm they do with something like Nightman Cometh. So that's what we're going to be working on today, just something a little more low-key. I'm going to run down some episodes I like, give some reasons here and there about why this one deserves another chance and you should go check it out. But how does one quantify whether something is or isn't underrated? Well, in this case, I just took the most literal path I saw, ran through the IMDb ratings of every single episode, chopped off the top 100, and then picked through the remains like a fucking raccoon. Super quick honorable mention here. I don't have a ton to say about Psycho Pete Returns, but I feel like it needs to be mentioned for having what is quite possibly the greatest scene in television history.
I swear you would be of more use to me if I skinned you and turned your skin into a lampshade. Or fashioned you into a piece of high-end luggage. I can even add you to my collection.
Are you saying that you have a collection of skin luggage?
Of course I'm not, Dee. Don't be ridiculous. Think of the smell. You haven't thought of the smell, you bitch! Now you say another word and I swear to God I will dice you into a million little pieces and put those pieces in a box. A glass box that I will display on my mantle.
Season 11 marked the 10th anniversary since that time Matilda's dad joined a cable TV show about a bunch of scumbags in Pennsylvania, so this is kinda like a tribute to that? Or maybe it's just one big supporting paragraph to the show's secret tagline. Yeah, you know the one. Fuck character development and fuck you. Basically acknowledging the fact that these characters are never going to change, and in that sense it does a pretty great job. Now I get why this one isn't too popular. This is all done through an amnesia storyline, which are never typically popular, which makes sense, because by definition they don't give anything new, with everyone just spending their time retracing steps to try and jog this character's memory. It's hard not to look at it all as just one big waste of time. But I feel like it works here, because instead of trying to get back to where they were, the main plot is about Dennis and Dee actively trying to avoid exactly that. It reminds me a lot of the Clip Show episode, because it's another example of Sunny tackling some tired sitcom trope and actually squeezing some life out of it. Also, a bit of fun trivia for you. This is the only episode to open at 12:10 p.m. So yeah, feel free to pull that one out at your next party. So I've always really liked this one, and I never expected I would be closer to the minority considering it one of the better episodes. There's a lot of really good stuff here, and if nothing else, you gotta admit it's become a pretty cool time capsule over the years. The general attitude of late 2008 is played on in perfect Sunny fashion, with that general sense of pessimism being amped up into full-blown nihilism. I mean, the cold open alone is probably the most darkly hilarious thing they've ever made.
What the hell's going on over here?
Oh, Frank's trying to kill himself.
Oh my God, is he all right? Frank, are you all right?
Don't try to stop me.
Oh my God.
Oh, so he's alive.
I lost all my money in a Ponzi scheme, Charlie. I'm broke.
His neck is so thick, I feel like he's just gonna swing and dangle around for a really long time.
That's what it is.
Momentum doesn't dip from there either, with the gang embodying the reactions of about every societal division we saw at the time. For example, we have Charlie and Dee as the members of the working class getting screwed over. Dennis and Mac are the upper executives who don't have an ounce of empathy for anyone screwed over by the crash. I also love that bit of them so confidently misunderstanding how the economy works, partially because it's funny and partially because the only other use I'm getting with this finance degree is covered discovering that stain on the wall. And of course we have Frank, the human embodiment of the evil corporation, the countless millionaire elites who got bailed out by the government, all while the rest of us were over here like Charlie, having to live in boxes and catch river crab. Or if you don't even want to look that far into it, first off, you're in the wrong place because that's kind of all I got. But if not, it's just really funny. And funny is good, right? Let's laugh and have fun and not call someone a waste of life. If you're trying to talk about how It's Always Sunny handles political discourse, I challenge you to find a better showing than this episode. Now, this video does a much better job of breaking it down, but basically, despite demonstrating an in-depth understanding of topics like abortion, gun control, trans rights, but the nature of these characters means this is all presented in the simplest terms imaginable before gradually pulling back the layers as they dive deeper and deeper into the issue. Sure, this means that there's a lot of people stating out loud the complexities going on, but just because something isn't subtle doesn't make it dumb. What we get is a summary that's not only digestible but also completely neutral. Notice how the episode itself will rarely ever take an actual side. This way nobody gets alienated and they don't downplay a debate to strictly right and wrong. This is all a bunch of runaround for saying Sunny is that cool uncle at the Thanksgiving table who's never trying to start shit, just sitting over there and minding his own business, absolutely reeking like pot. Obviously here they're tackling gun control and it's some serious subject matter being explored, but the people and scenarios involved are so absurd it disarms the audience. Imagine it's a lot like giving a lecture about systemic racism while dressed like Donald Duck. And in this space created between reality and batshit, the writers put in balanced takes from pro and anti-gun groups by positioning half the gang on each side before gradually moving everyone to the other side by the end of the episode. Look, I know this one derailed quite a bit, but I'm really just trying to fumble the words together to say this is one of the most thematically well-constructed episodes and the perfect embodiment of an element of the series that gets overlooked way too often by casual watchers. But if you do want me to point to one thing in particular and say ha ha good, the cold open with Frank is registered comedy gold. A+, god tier, 300 man destroyers out of 7. See, with everything else, I can reason why other people might not love it, like amnesia storylines are lame, or fuck you, my whole family is part of the River Crab dynasty and I don't appreciate you joking about it. Not that easy here. I honestly don't know why it doesn't land as well as the others. From top to bottom, the setup is perfect and goddamn hilarious. Wolf Cola has always been lurking in the background of the show's universe, so coming to the forefront of a storyline is a nice bit of continuity, but the way in which this happens is prime Sunny ridiculousness. What other show are you going to see a character's shell corporation become the favorite drink of a terrorist group, leading to a satirical takedown on the 24-hour news cycle and corporate apologies? That last one I want to dive into a little bit more because unlike gun control or financial meltdowns, this topic isn't touched on too often. So it's nice to see someone call out how big companies can pull some bullshit and escape scot-free, all because of the same carefully worded apologies or wait until someone else shits the bed and takes the attention away. I mean, the strategy for corporate damage control is pitched to us by the residential sociopath, and it totally works. This is even played on during the ending, which seemingly comes out of nowhere, but in this case it's gotta be intentional, because that's how this goes down in real life. We can only direct our anger at corporations for so long. Like, Apple still uses sweatshops, but fuck me, that's a nice shade of purple. I know I'm getting away from talking about the actual episode again, but I just want to highlight when there's more going on than we realize at first. Like, here's another case of Sunny pointing the mirror at us and how forgiving/forgetful we are as a society. Life moves too fast for us. It's hard to give something attention for 24 hours, let alone hold someone accountable. Do you guys even remember when IKEA fed people horse meat? Judging something as most underrated is kind of weird, because do you go with the most underappreciated or the most overhated? Because you could technically say getting your eyeballs scooped out with a rusty spoon is underrated because it's not the absolute worst thing that could happen. Likewise, Gang Cracks the Liberty Bell is not the best episode by any stretch, but it doesn't belong anywhere near the bottom. Hey, I was sleeping on it too. For the longest time, I flat out skipped it because it looked like way too much of a change, and my comfort zone is the size of a hula hoop. It came way before Sunny started trying more experimental stuff, so it always stuck out from the rest. It's like, oh yeah, the one where they're in the American Revolution, that was kind of weird. Why mess with something that's working fine? I like the dynamics and the world he got here, so I don't want to see it all get flipped around. Or so I thought, because despite the palette change, the humor and characters transfer over perfectly, and it all fits well into Sunny's weird little style.
The status quo is preserved surprisingly well. All the changes feel totally in line. Like, yeah, of course, Dee is a slave, Cricket is a redcoat, and the whole plot is the bar trying to weasel their way onto the side with the better odds of winning. Essentially, this is a totally normal episode, which isn't the insult it sounds like. It's classic It's Always Sunny, and there's not too much more to dig into here. I just like this one way more than I expected. Seriously, give it a shot. And if nothing else, it deserves higher than a 7.7. I mean, fuck, man. Those are Barney numbers. Hey guys, thank you for making it to the end. I do really appreciate it a lot. Thanks also for being so patient with the videos. I really do intend to get them out more frequently. I just suck. But mainly I wanted to give a huge thank you. 1,000 subscribers, that is crazy. I've gone through like a dozen channels over the last 10 years, but this has always been a huge goal of mine. So to finally hit it, and I've barely had time to process it, but I'm just trying to say I'm really grateful. It's actually a big deal to me. So just wanted to bring that up real fast. Thanks again for watching. Be safe and see you in like hopefully less than 11 months. Hopefully.